14th season, 7 SEC West titles, 10 NCAA tournament appearances with Auburn, and of course 1 SEC tournament title from a year ago, looking to make it 2 in a row, and there she is. She said simply this will be her defense versus Florida's offense. Looking at Auburn's lineup now, defense, as we mentioned, key, but Tatiana Coleman is their striker, and she could be tough to stop.
Well, Tatiana Coleman is a sophomore, but she has breakaway speed. She gets on the end of things, and she can serve a ball with pace. But what's scarier for defender, she defends you as hard as you defend her.
Well, for the Gators, Holly King will need to play well if they want to walk out of here with a win today.
Well, she is the dominant player in the air, the defensive player of the year for the SEC. She breaks up play and sets it.
She is the SEC Defensive Player of the Year, connects the defense to the offense. And we are underway in Orange Beach, Alabama. Florida in the white uniforms with orange trim, and Auburn in the solid orange uniforms. As we mentioned in the open, rain could be a problem here today. The wind has certainly picked up here. System moving in from Louisiana. Florida on the move, far side. Adriana Leone. That pass intercepted by Tatiana Coleman. Throw in here for the Gators. As we mentioned, the first seed, top seed in the tournament. They are getting after it quick here, Kate.
They are, but they're going to sit back a little bit, get numbers behind the ball to try to get organized defensively, because Florida is so good with possession style. And then they'll look to break quickly out of attack like they did in their win on Friday night. Defend well and then look for their opportunities. They don't get many, but they have a high conversion rate.
It's Mary Coffed. When you play against Florida, you don't get too many opportunities. They really put on a clinic when it comes to possession style play. And we should see plenty of that here this afternoon. The throw in here for the Tigers. That's Tori Ball into the box and knocked away by the Gators. Kim Spence here. Nice move by Spence. And now it's Florida. That was Timrack with the touch. Far side, Leone. Good defending there by Auburn. Tori Ball tried to keep that one from going out of bounds. Florida ball. Now you're starting to see it settle down just a little bit.
But it still started very impressively, where both teams didn't try to launch it in the other end and play long ball. Instead, they're both trying to build into the game, find it by connecting passes.
Auburn's disrupting that here in the early going. Ball sent forward. Looking for Anna Kate. Couldn't quite catch up to it. Two teams met earlier in the season back in September. Auburn took that one into overtime. Nice battle there. Florida coming up with possession.
Well, that's why number 41, Taylor Travis, is in the lineup. She's so tenacious back there. That's something to be said about all of Florida's outside backs, and they're really lucky. They have a lot of depth. You'll see different players come and rotate in that position, but the one unifying thing about all of them is they're tenacious and they never give up. and they tackle the ball without giving up fouls in dangerous areas.
As we mentioned, Florida and Auburn played back in September 16th. Florida won that match 2-1 in overtime. It was at a time when Auburn, Coach Karen Hoppe said they just really weren't playing their best soccer. They're playing their best soccer now, started doing that in October. She said even though they lost, she was happy with the fact they took that game into overtime. And now Florida here.
And conversely, Florida had to figure out that puzzle of how to figure out how, when the team puts 11 players behind the ball, how to break them down. It's not being more motivated and trying harder. It's actually staying composed and figuring out how to break down a puzzle.
Nice move there by Timrak. Defended well by Auburn. And it'll set up the first corner kick here of the afternoon.
Here we go. She's going down the end line, trying to get a ball on, and a defensive center mid able to clear it out.
Annie Spees. Really not much they could do with the ball the way it was sent in there. Sets up the goal kick for Amy Howard, the senior goalkeeper for the Auburn Tigers. 112 saves, 7 shutouts this season, has allowed 24 goals, 1.06 goals against average. Has played every minute this season.
And she is the backbone of this team. They build the whole entire defensive unit off of her, and they depend on her to be strong. And on Friday night in their victory, she had the game of her life, they said. She just played with so much heart and didn't give the other team a sniff at goal.
Karen Hoppe said she has been the MVP the last 2 games. And they'll need her to be on top of things here this afternoon. See the passing there for Florida in the midfield. This is a team whose identity is a possession team, and ball sent forward, shot, not enough pace on the ball for Adriana Leone. And there's a look at Amy Howard. Earlier this season, she became the 3rd Auburn goalkeeper to make 300 career saves. Cracked the SEC's top 10 career saves list as well with 369. She has been outstanding. And coming to a team where your coach Karen Hoppe, she was a goalkeeper, so you better be good in that position.
Well, she knows what to look for and what she can work with to turn into a type of goalkeeper that will be able to play the style that they do. And she found that, and she did give her credit for her work rate and how much she worked to improve, knowing that she needed to be great to get her team back in the top of the SEC.
Karen Hoppe was a star keeper at Central Florida. Now Florida on the move again. Florida routinely in the 500s in terms of attempted passes, occasionally 600, which is really high statistically. We'll get back to that thought in a moment, but Taylor Burke here for the Florida Gators. 53 saves, 5.5 shutouts, 19 goals allowed this season. It's .92 goals against average, and she has started every game this season. She's a dual sport athlete, also part of the track and field team, a high jumper. That's certainly something she can utilize in the game of soccer as well.
Well, she also benefits from the fact she's playing behind such an impressive team that holds the ball, so she's not going to get many looks, so she can grow into the technique and the tactical awareness that you need to have as a goalkeeper, and she's gaining her confidence, and so far she's been impressive for Florida this entire season.
Back to the thought on Florida's being a possession-style team. Becky Burley said the difference between this team from a year ago is that you know, they were just getting possession just for the sake of possession. And this year, they really, now they know what to do with it. They play in front of a lot of teams too, but this year they're more dangerous as far as getting behind those teams instead of in front of those teams, Kate.
Well, that just takes maturation, learning how to play with everyone facing you. They have 11 players usually sitting back, and they have to figure out how to break that down. Immature players, you get frustrated by that because the options aren't obvious and time and space is compressed the further upfield you move. But with a little maturity and a little confidence and practice at it, at breaking down, you grow into it and learn how to do it successfully.
Now Vanna Salon, open look here, and speared away by the Auburn Tigers. Mary Nicholson.
Well, the captain of the team, she is the organizer. They call her the general, making sure all the holes are covered. And they like to look for give and goes. Leon can do anything on the ball using any surface. Salon, in, out, breaks down defenders.
And the header, and down goes two. Is Holly King in the mix there for Florida.
You will say Holly King's name on almost every single set piece. Look for her to be the target for Dragada's plays, as well as any kind of reservice if the ball gets kicked out. She has excellent positioning and she's dominant in the air.
Becky Burley calls her the key player as she connects, as we mentioned, the defense to the offense. Very good in the air, and as you mentioned, she and Joe Dragada just have that connection to really make things go in that midfield to get everything forward. And in this type of possession style attack, you really have to not only have the confidence to do it, but you have to have sort of the idea of when things go bad, you got to still stay and play within what you know how to do and not try to do more than what you know how to do. Just relax. That's what Becky Burley tells her players all the time.
Well, just have the confidence that your game plan is right and stick to it even when times get tough. The big thing that Florida will need to do is find the width. When teams are packed, all packed back, the space is wide. And then it's quality service from those balls wide. They can be successful and break down teams by pulling them out of shape in that way.
Teams talk about the SEC grind and playing those Friday matchups to Sunday, and of course more of the same in the SEC tournament. Not a lot of time off to heal the body, but both coaches made it very clear to their strength and conditioning coaches, hey, get these girls ready to go. In fact, neither team really went out and took that extra practice time, if you will, to do a legitimate practice, just really resting the body to get out here and get those starters fresh for this championship match. Vanna Salon to Spies. BCS Countdown is on ESPN and ESPNU tonight. A day after the dust has settled, our analysts break down the key victories, defeats, and reveal the latest BCS standings. Who will rise and who will fall? Plus, we look ahead at the key matchups ahead. BCS Countdown presented by Discover Card tonight at 8:30 on ESPN, then at 9 on ESPNU. And boy, would those standings look very different today if LSU did take down Alabama yesterday. They had them on the ropes. Alabama came back in a very impressive drive at the end of that one to pull off the win. They will keep their #1 ranking because of it. Timrack now. Over to Leon, and Leon, that ball speared away.
I think Florida is just starting to get in their stride. They need to make the off-the-ball movement decisions a bit quicker, because right now they're kind of waiting for each other and reacting to it. And also play a little bit wider in those runs. Don't try to go so narrow inside the box. Maybe bend that next time for Leon. Buy yourself some time and space on the ball, and that gives you a bigger gap to play into for the rest of the team.
We got the first free kick here. of the game for the Auburn Tigers. Christina Ibanez, our referee. These are two teams that really respect each other, so much so that Becky Burley and Karen Hoppa talked before this particular game prior to the tournament and said, hey, you know, we got Texas A&M and Missouri that are looking pretty good here. Let's keep the newbies out. Let's go out and try to get into this tournament game to play each other. And it was kind of a joke, but obviously Auburn won their semifinal match first, and then Karen Hoffman said, okay, Becky, it's your turn.
I think Becky just wanted a rematch.
She did, and she got it. Another free kick here for the Auburn Tigers. So look at Mary Nicholson, the fifth-year senior, one of 3 captains on this team. Coach Hoppa says she is the general and the brains of the back line, organizes everything. Send it back to Taylor Burke. Look at this facility here in Orange Beach, Alabama. The Southeastern Conference, the teams, coaches, everybody likes it so much that the conference decided to extend its agreement here with the Orange Beach Sportsplex through 2015. This is the 9th time that the facility has served as host of the SEC tournament. Kim Spence tried to get 4, but Joe Dragotta had other plans. Andahar. Cross. Picked up by Auburn.
Well, every time Auburn wins the ball, they're going to look up top to release that pressure and bypass all those Gator players. And they're looking for number 20, Tori Ball, who is very good on it, but she's not the fastest. But how she can compensate for that is being more ball side and reading the play earlier, not get stepped in front of that. That can't happen what just did when a Florida defender cuts in front of you. You need to hold the ball up. You're the lone forward up there. But I can't blame her. I mean, she's running sideline 75-75 doggies the whole time trying to cover the back line of Florida.
So 27-34 here in the first half. We are scoreless in Orange Beach, Alabama. The rematch of last year's title game. Auburn became the first SEC West team to win the SEC tournament a year ago. Florida, of course, has been there, done that, looking for number 10 here this afternoon. Should be a great battle, has been so far. Teams very familiar with each other. You can kind of see that out here on the field this afternoon. This is Savannah Salon looking for Leone. And again, Kim Spence in the vicinity. Auburn now looking to get forward. Bianca Sierra. Ball sent into the box and knocked away by Karina Gucha.
Well, Tatiana Coleman is getting that ball out there. Number 11 with so much space. She's bypassing the entire Florida midfield with some aggressive touches. And a poor clearance by the Florida defender gives Auburn a chance. You have to remember, this is a very opportunistic team. They don't get many chances, but they usually convert them.
Mary Coffett here Short kick. Ball sit inside the box. Burke comes off her line. Shots it in and picked up by Burke. Kim Spence taking the first shot on frame for the Auburn Tigers.
Well, they take a short corner to try to pull her out, pull the whole entire Gator defense out. It comes to Kim Spence, who is very disciplined defensively, but she's incredibly technical back there, likes to set play, and the center back has the first shot on goal for Auburn.
Spence was recruited as a center forward, and she did struggle in that role just a little bit. Last year, about mid-season, they turned her into an outside back, and that's been where she has really flourished at this level.
That's the nature where the game is going. That's more of a modern defender, someone who is comfortable on the ball. When I played, I didn't have to be comfortable on the ball because there wasn't that much competition for playing time with players that were better and more technical at the time. Now, you can't get away with that. And at the better programs playing at the higher levels, most of these defenders are probably forwards at one point in high school and converted recently into the back line. To me, the problem with Florida is they're all coming back to the ball. So when Leon came back for that ball, no one recreated the depth. No one took her spot. And what that will do is it will draw Auburn's defenders out and create those gaps and also open up some spots wide because Auburn will try to adjust centrally.
It's just a matter of finding that space now for the Florida Gators to get into and get those shots.
Being a bit closer to each other up front by Florida, Leon, Salon, Timrack, if they get a little bit tighter to each other, they'll be able to read that movement a bit better because this is a very good team. They just haven't quite found the little bit of interchange of movement that they're known for.
Both of these teams have gone down their roster as far as scoring is concerned, so it really makes it difficult to kind of, you don't want to hone in on anybody in particular because anybody can score. Auburn, they've got 10 players that can score, and any one of those names you just mentioned for the Florida Gators have put goals into the back of the net this season as well.
Well, they have a balanced attack. They have 8 different players with 3+ goals, so you just have to defend as a unit and be organized defensively. Don't worry about the individuals so much. Worry about the collective whole and make sure that you're sound.
Into the game for the Auburn Tigers. Alexa Allen, out goes Tori Ball. Substitution rules in the NCAA. First half, you can enter only once, cannot return. In the second half, you're allowed 1 return if you sit out. Getting down to the nitty-gritty here in these conference tournaments, Kate. Field of 64 teams will be decided here tomorrow. Of course, the winner here will get the automatic bid into the NCAA tournament. And before this very match, the ACC title game, Maryland and Virginia pulled out on top to win the ACC tournament. It's the first time in 25 years that no one from North Carolina was in that title game.
I know a lot of Tar Heels that are very upset at this moment for that stat. And for Florida, they're trying to win this so they can get second round and third round home field advantage. And for Auburn, they're a bubble team. They're looking to get in. Their RPI isn't as high as others, but thankfully they play in the SEC, one of the best conferences in the nation. But this has important implications for them. Not if you win this, automatic berth.
Karen Hoppe did say she thought that with their win over Texas A&M that they might be in, but she said, still, we can't leave it up to chance. We've got to win this tournament so that we know for sure that we're in. Joe Dragotta sends it ahead to Timrack. Leon back to Timrack. Ball's it in, Taylor Travis, and batted away. Taking a look here at the RPI, Florida up at the top.
You have to imagine that Auburn doing so well, their RPI will increase. But with Florida, they're starting to grow into this game. They move the ball with so much more tempo, a lot quicker, and they were able to dismantle that back line because they found the width. Now it's just getting a bit more accurate service into the box.
Faulkner. Rigoda to Ravenna Salon. Auburn winning possession there, making Rigoda and that midfield work. And that's what Florida will do. As you've seen it several times now, they'll send it back to their goalkeeper, again, just to keep the possession. When they send the ball forward, they want to make sure it gets to the feet of another teammate.
Well, what's more impressive is that they push their 2 outside backs high, which then has a domino effect because then the 3 front runners go forward. But they split their center backs wide, and that caused number 99, Alexa Allen. She has to pick and choose when she's going to go, and also to push to one side. The forward from Auburn has to do that.
On the men's side, men's college soccer continues next Sunday on ESPNU with ACC championship game, where last year's ACC champion went on to win the College World Cup. The ACC championship next Sunday at noon on ESPNU. Nice job winning the ball by Anna Kink for the Auburn Tigers. That midfield for Florida has really been a stopgap there. Anytime Auburn gets that momentum there before they hit the halfway point, and an opportunity here, and a goal for the Florida Gators. And that was a wide open look for Adriana Leon, her 5th goal of the season.
Well, it all starts on the width. You're getting to pull the gaps and expand the space, and they've been successful at wall passes all day. Adriana gets onto it and coolly and calmly slots it in the back of the net. She scored the game winner against Auburn during the regular season play, and here she scores the first goal of the game. But a little bit of width, a couple wall passes that converted successfully, and this is what happens. All of a sudden, this is how Florida likes to play, and this is how they break down teams that like to sit 10 players behind the ball.
I don't know what it is about the Auburn Tigers, but Leon scored the golden goal against Auburn in the overtime match back in September, and here she is, putting the Florida Gators on top 1-0.
Well, that's a huge pickup for the Gators. She's a Notre Dame transfer, played 2 seasons for the Fighting Irish, and they actually didn't have her for the first part of the season because she was playing for the Canadian national team in the Under-20 World Cup in Japan. But she comes in and she has changed the dynamics of this team. So crafty, can use any surface of her foot, and she knows how to find gaps.
Faulkner knocks that one out of bounds, and more on Leon. You know, Becky Burley, it's rare when you hear a coach say something that exactly hits the nail on the head when it comes to a player. And as far as Leon is concerned, she said she's kind of less of a passer, but more of like that, give me the ball, I've got an opportunity. If she sees it, she took it, put the Gators on the board.
If you're a forward, you're supposed to be selfish. You should not have a conscience. There should be no doubts if you miss a couple, because guess what? Maybe that next one will go in and then you're the hero again. So forwards, if they don't score, they get ridiculed. If they do, they're heroes. I love it when forwards don't have a conscience and just keep going for it.
Free kick here for Florida. Dragotta will take it. Headed out by Auburn. Foot race here to the ball. Won by Salon. Ball still alive here in the box. and finally knocked away by Bianca Sierra. Sets up another corner kick opportunity here for the Florida Gators. Auburn has had a tough time defending set pieces this season. It is a point of concern for Coach Karen Hoppe. Nice job winning the ball by Lawrence Silver. Andahar and Tatiana Coleman. Haven't called Coleman's name much here today. And two players going head-to-head on the pitch here.
You get to hear the fans saying,
sure
she's fine, sure she's fine. They didn't get that impact.
That's Claire Faulkner for Florida.
Oh, that's dangerous on Auburn. She's going into the player. The referee, if I'm the referee, I would actually give a card on that play because she is moving forward. The Florida player has no idea someone is coming, and she just gets absolutely hammered from behind Faulkner. I would give a card to Anna Kate for Auburn for that. You need to protect people in the air for any of those challenges. You need to keep people on the field.
Well, the freshman forward, Faulkner, looks like she will go to the bench. Or she may just shake it off and stay in. But, of course, concussions are a concern. And she says she's fine. So she will stay here in the game.
Well, she's also a freshman. She may not know that that's not okay. She probably hasn't been hit that many times that hard in all likelihood.
So the foul there will set up this free kick here for the Florida Gators. Kristen Westfall sends it inside the box, and out comes Amy Howard to make the grab. So with the style of play we've seen from Auburn so far, and that defense-driven, down 1-0 here in the first half, any changes, Kate, that you make, or anything you do as a coach to prevent from pressing and leaving those big open gaps, if you will, for the Florida Gators?
You just actually need to get on the ball more, and I love that they're trying to possess when they're able to get numbers forward, but if they need to release the ball, especially if Allen up top, give it a little bit longer because she's got the legs and the breakaway speed to get onto it. Sometimes they just play it up, but they don't have anyone near them, and it's not behind the defense. But defensively, they need to stay more compact. They can't get pulled out of pressure. They have to be disciplined in defending. And if they're going to put pressure, stay there. Put pressure the entire time. Don't let her go back 2 or 3 steps and step off, because now that player has time to turn and do what she wants.
Florida again on the move. Salon to Holly King, and now Timrack with the ball. Very dangerous. Timrack with the goal. I thought it hit the side of the net, but that actually went into the back of the goal. Just caught it in on the side. Erica Timrack, dangerous, and she shows it right there on that play. Goal number 2 for the Gators.
It's just incredibly too easy to come down the center of the field. As a defender, keep your feet moving. You cannot get the ball, get the player, get a body on her. Salon moving it forward. Look, no pressure. She has time on the ball. Do what she wants. And then it goes to Timrack. A great first touch, no body contact. And she has the poise just to take a shot on it. Takes a little touch in to get on her preferred right foot. And the near post isn't covered as well by the goalie, and it goes into the side netting. But if I'm Auburn, You cannot let people dribble through the center of your team. They play a 4-3-3. That's where all their numbers are. They need to play more compact, and if you can't win the ball defensively on these one-on-ones, keep your feet moving, get an arm into them, slow them down.
It's Timrak's 8th goal of the season, showing why she is the SEC Offensive Player of the Year. In fact, the first Gator to win that particular award when they started handing it out in 2005. Taylor Burke right into her arms.
Well, Tatiana Coleman, number 11, is deciding to try to change the tone of this game. She makes an outside to inside run, is able to make an unbalancing kind of choice, which throws the Gator back line out of organization and takes like a half chance, but that's what they need. They need to start being a bit more aggressive and going after things a little bit, and her name needs to be more of a factor in this game if they have any chance of coming back into it.
Well, she's got speed and definitely something that she needs to get behind the Auburn defense here, or excuse me, the Florida defense, to make something happen. She is 4th in the SEC with 27 total points, 9 goals, 9 assists for her.
Auburn's just respecting Florida too much. Yes, Florida deserves that respect, but you can't play with fear and you can't play intimidated. Start to get into them a little bit physically and disrupt their style of play.
Call that one. Free kick here.
Did she hear me talking?
I think she did. Free kick here for the Gators. We'll see it again.
Well, she's checking with the ball. She gets a little bit too much body on her, and she falls down because she's not as well balanced. But her team has time to now get organized behind the ball defensively.
Dragotta into the box, and Howard smothers it. So now you're down 2-0 here. We'll follow the replay first, Kate.
Well, the ball's played in, and they're always trying to play it into what they call the corridor of indecision. That ball with the goalkeeper has to decide whether she's going to come out or stay on her line. That one falls a little bit short of the 6, so she decides to stay on her line, but they have the headers that can get onto it.
And we had a push here on the far sideline. It was Coleman.
Well, now it's getting a little bit more physical. There's something to play for, and Coleman did not like the impact from Silver, the substitute that has come on. You have to think they're going to look for number 11, Coleman or Allen, in the box to get onto the service.
Bianca Sierra. Ball off to the side of the goal. Auburn like to have that one back. Millions of people on the East Coast have been affected by Hurricane Sandy. The Red Cross is currently helping to feed, clothe, and shelter people in 9 states. The relief efforts will continue for months and are very costly. To donate, please go to www.redcross.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS. Or you can even text Red Cross to 90999 to donate $10. The Walt Disney Company, which owns ESPN, has committed $2 million for relief efforts. Europe, from that neck of the woods, not so bad in the Boston area, but boy, did New York and Jersey get hit bad.
It absolutely did. It's a state of emergency there. I think people are starting to grasp the severity of everything going on, and I'm so happy the New York Marathon got canceled. And I was even more impressed that so many marathoners are now volunteering at Staten Island and helping bring water and food supplies to all the people affected.
And of course, we're here. Howard comes off the line to make the grab there. We are here in the Gulf Coast, which has also been hit by a couple of hurricanes. Take a look at this replay, Kate.
A poor clearance by the Auburn team. They cannot do that in a game when they're chasing it. They can't give any opportunities to their team, but Howard reads it well, comes off the line quickly, and smothers it.
This area, of course, in the Gulf Coast, as we mentioned, Hurricane Katrina, Hurricane Ivan. You think of all the hurricanes that come up through this way, and this is an area that knows all too well what the aftermath is like. So again, just if you have anything to donate, Red Cross is the way to go. So we're under 10 minutes here. Florida with 2 goals in this first half. And a tough deficit really to come back from, Kate.
But they're starting to go after it now. Look they don't have that respect that caused them to be so intimidated by Florida. Now they respect them, but they're also trying to play their game. They want to be a possession style team, and they can only do that if they get numbers forward. If they take a little bit more proactive stance, it's the only way they can have any hope of getting back in this game.
So Sophie Simontel comes off the bench into the game for the Auburn Tigers, just a freshman from Orange Beach, Alabama. This is home for her. Ball sent forward for Coffin. Alexa Allen there, number 99, just sitting and waiting, hoping to intercept something there for an opportunity for a nice look at the goal for Auburn. And Florida wanted to make it 3-0 here before the half. And we are here in Orange Beach, Alabama at the Sportsplex for the SEC Championship game. I'm Alyssa Lee alongside Kate Markgraf, 2-time Olympic gold medalist. Played for the Irish of Notre Dame. Ball blocked. And a collision here just outside the box. Lauren Silver for Florida, and we've still got an Auburn player down.
Well, a bouncing ball, and she goes in for the challenge with her foot up and makes the body contact. Anytime there's a bouncing ball, it's always dangerous because you don't know what's going to happen. And here, she doesn't just go for the ball. She tilts her body and goes for the player as well. In that kind of setting, it's not like, let's just get your arm on somebody. That is dangerous by Auburn. Auburn needs to be physically tougher, but not the point that they might injure somebody, because pretty soon those cards are going to come out, and the last thing they want is to be 2-0 down and then have someone ejected because they're just playing too aggressively.
Well, that is Anna Kate for the Auburn Tigers, and she was a huge playmaker for the team in their win over Texas A&M. In fact, it was a game that Coach Hoppus said was her best of the season, so they certainly can't afford to lose her.
Well, that's her style of play. She's 5'1". She compensates that with physical style of play. She's just a bit reckless right now. She's trying to get her team back into it as a captain, trying to motivate them by showing a lot of energy and rally the team around her. But she has to be careful because that's the second time she's gotten the player more than she's ever gotten the ball.
This allows both teams to kind of catch their breath a little bit, get a little bit of a breather here as we sit with just under 8 minutes in the first half. And there's the card you were looking for, Kate.
It's just 2 plays, infractions that put the other player at harm. The intention is not to get the player, but she didn't get the ball, and she got both other players in the both instances that she was too physical in. Yeah, the referee waited until Anna Kate was feeling better, and then to add insult to injury, literally, gives her the yellow card.
So now Auburn. Kate goes out. Hope to see her back here in the second half of play. And Timrack here. Softball sent in, and just touches the crossbar and bounces over.
Florida has so much respect for what number 2 Silver can do on the ball. She has been the target on every single set piece since she came in as a sub. She comes from a wide to an inside position and runs onto it. Unfortunately, just gets underneath the ball, so it hits the crossbar and goes out of bounds. But right now, Florida's showing so much diversity in their set pieces. They're not just hoofing it in to high number 14, their King, Holly King, who's so good in the air. They're showing how dynamic and how they have the luxury of depth. This is a team that can go all the way in the NCAA tournament because of those reasons.
Coach Burley said she cleared her bench Friday against Missouri, was able to get 20 players into that game. And as you said, would just help them down the road. This is a team that feels that they can go deep into the NCAA tournament. As Becky Burley said, she's watched several teams in these conference tournaments, and she said nobody really plays like us. And that doesn't necessarily guarantee results, but she likes this team. She likes her team. And she said that for this team in particular, she wants to keep this season going because they're just a great group of kids. And now Auburn trying to find something positive here before the half. Spence. Ball kicked away by Faulkner. Men's college soccer continues next Sunday on ESPNU with ACC championship game, where last year's ACC champion went on to win the College Cup. The ACC championship next Sunday at noon on ESPN. And this could be the opportunity Auburn needs.
Auburn is so good on those half chances. Look for the second ball. They may not win the first one, but look for them to organize for the second one and anticipate where it's going to drop.
Sierra. And out comes Taylor Burke.
That ball has to be served away from the keeper at that height. If it's in the air like that, it's so easy for the keeper to read because there's so much time. It's not driven in. She has enough time to make a save, and no one's putting a body on her, rushing the goalkeeper. They have such few chances. They needed to better than that. Otherwise, those are opportunities squandered for a team trying to come back.
Burke is 6'1", and will make those high grabs just about every time.
Now compare that to the ease that she caught that with how hard it is to defend Florida on set pieces. They serve that into the corridor of indecision, making the goalkeeper decide she's going to come out or stay on her line. And that's the difference sometimes with the great teams, is they are excellent at set pieces for that very reason.
Timrack here broke away from the defense. She's got Maggie Rogers. And Kim Spence, again, we've said her name so many times, breaking up the attack by the Florida Gators.
Well, they're doing a good job covering when they do get wall passed. Now, when it goes ping inside and their player played it, they're good at recovering and getting into where they think that ball might be played. And Spence is doing a lot of the workload for Auburn's back line right now.
Still not out of the woods yet for Auburn. This is Timrack to Andahar. Rogers sends it in. Headed out by Auburn, though still not cleared. That ball headed out by the Tigers. Mary Nicholson getting a touch. Andahar sends it in and straight into the waiting arms of Amy Howard.
The patience of that build-up play was so impressive. They took their time. They waited to find the space out wide and then played it. And it's just that end product. It's okay, it doesn't have to be a goal every time, but not right at the keeper. Make it a challenge, create some chaos on the box, and try to at least put it in a direction of one of your teammates and be a bit more accurate.
Auburn wanted a whistle there. Gary Coffin hit the deck. Under 2 minutes here in the first half. Gators up 2-0. And here we go again for Florida, and that's going to be called for offsides.
What a savvy play by number 21, Nicholson, the general of the back line, the captain. She saw that her forward was the highest player, and so she laid off for a little bit, let her get in advance of her, and when the ball played through, because it was such a predictable ball, because it was a straight vertical ball, she's held up a run and caused the Florida player to be offsides. That's a bit of defensive sophistication she's bringing to the game.
Mackenzie Barney swings it out to Andahar. Out to Rogers, looking for somebody to pass it off to in the box. Tried to get it to Timrack. Timrack had a choice there. The ball finally knocked away by Auburn.
Excellent Timrack trying to find the off-the-ball movement by Florida. That's what they're so good at. They have great technical players, but you can see it because they all move off each other so well, either trying to create chances for themselves or for their teammates.
That final look by Andahar. Wide. And here we are, SEC championship game, and the Florida Gators are absolutely in the driver's seat. Goal scored in the first of their opportunities.
Well, there was 9 shots, 4 of which on goal, and they converted 2 of them. And it starts a little 3-player combination. Adria Leone beats the goalkeeper on the near post, and the second one is kind of similar. Timrack doing all the work herself, and again, has the composure to shoot from outside the box. There's so many numbers back from Auburn. That's where that space is a little bit farther out than normal for Florida to take their chances, and they convert them.
Well, as Karen Hoppe said for the Auburn Tigers, expect some adjustments here in the second half for Auburn. And for Becky Burley and company, it was just keep doing what they're doing, but again, be confident in it and don't go outside of what your role is for this team.
I can't foresee that changing. It's easier to have composure when you're not chasing a game. It gives you that freedom to play the way that you want, and they like to play a possession style. Unless Auburn's able to tie this back up, I don't see them panicking.
Saw a very similar situation in a game that was aired on ESPNU with the Florida Gators and Texas A&M Aggies in College Station. Florida went up 2-1 in the first half of that one, and in the second half, it was keep away. It was possession the entire time, and it was very frustrating for the Aggies. When you can't get a touch on the ball, you can't make something happen.
Not only that, you fatigue other teams. Now, Auburn is going to have to chase this game. They're going to be expending more effort. That means Florida is going to be able to attack them more. Auburn's going to send more numbers forward. They'll have numbers advantage or even man advantage, and they'll be playing against players with fatigued legs. It's just an excellent situation to go into with a 2-goal lead going into half.
For Auburn right now, they need just something positive to happen. How important would it be, Kate, to just get at least 1 goal on the board at this point?
Oh, it'll be a huge momentum shift. and it would just give you that belief. Sometimes it's that shred of belief that you can get back in that game. That can make you overlook how tired you are, or whether or not you had a bad first half and you're feeling a little bit less confident. Having a purpose, just trying everything, anything. But that only starts with playing more forward balls and getting more players into the attacking third.
Well, as we mentioned in the first half, Auburn is still relatively what you would consider a bubble team in the NCAA tournament, and they're really fighting not just for the tournament trophy here today, but obviously to keep their season going.
Well, they've gotten to this point, so I think their chances have improved where they're not going to be so much on the bubble. But you have to remember, this is also a young team. They do have 6 seniors, but there are 6 seniors that have had to take on new roles. This is a team that head coach Hoppe says they're finding their identity and they've gotten better each day. Unfortunately, they're playing against the best team in the SEC right now, and all their weaknesses are being exposed.
Playing against the best team in the SEC, but Auburn has really come on of late. As we mentioned, they've won the last 5 SEC tournament games dating back to last season and have really been playing their best soccer in October and here in November. Rolling here by Florida. This is Havana Salon. Swung it out to Andahar, and Andahar in the box sends it over. Wow, that was a dangerous moment there for Amy Howard. Kind of lost sight of where the ball was for just a half second.
Well, here's this serve. She's driving down the end line. Travis sends it across. Florida gets aided by a deflection, which causes the ball to go in a different direction. And unfortunately, the Florida player could not run onto it. Unfortunately for Auburn, it gets cleared out of danger. And now they're in Florida's half.
And another yellow card here off this play.
Well, Joe Jagoda getting an arm around, getting a little bit frustrated with the feistiness of Anna Kate. And now Auburn has a set piece chance to go at Florida.
Ball's it in, headed. Auburn still with an opportunity. And Taylor Burke, the slide and makes the grab.
Well, the ball is served a bit short, has quite a distance to go, but they're looking for the flick on those half chances. Anna Kate, again, fearless with her body, throwing herself into anything. And Taylor Burke holds strong, reads the play well, and is able to smother the ball.
You like that physical style of play, though. We've seen it from Kate. As we mentioned, yellow card for her, another yellow card here for Florida just now from Joe Jagoda.
Well, I think if you can't compete with a team technically, you have to compete with them with an organized shape and then playing hard defensively. Don't make it easy for them to dictate play, but you have to find that balance. You cannot hurt the player by always going for them first, not the ball.
Timrack. And Amy Howard said, no way, I'm coming off my line to make that grab, not even going to give you a second opportunity there. And we mentioned that there was a possibility of rain here in the open. And it is starting to come down a little bit here in Orange Beach, a little bit of a sprinkle. Again, nothing will stop or make this a stoppage of play unless we get lightning in the area, so they'll play right through it. Well, Tatiana Coleman, sorry, go ahead.
That will change the dynamics of the game. If Auburn is able to get more players forward, they can kind of lump balls in and kind of look for the slick grass to make the ball pop on through. And that's something for a team that's a bit more direct, not as possession-oriented as Florida is, that benefits them.
Yeah, some teams call it the equalizer, if you will. Throw in here for the Tigers. We want to see them get some numbers forward, and that's Coleman. Nothing direct on that shot, but Burke comes out anyways to get rid of it. Auburn saw that there was looking for Coleman, and saw Coleman would have been offsides if she had gone further.
Well, Coach Hoppe wanted Auburn's team to play with a bit more possession, not give it up so easily. That will help if there's more players around the ball. That's why we see Tatiana Coleman, number 11, being closer to number 99, Allen, in the attacking third.
In the open, we talked about the Jessica Reitner-Timrack matchup. Nothing really stopping Timrack here, and the shot right into the hands of Burke.
Well, she gets a little bit too much time and space on the ball. The Florida defense is laying too far away, goes into a challenge, and it bounces off to her, and she just takes a one-time shot.
And another player down, this one for the Florida Gators.
Well, it's off a bouncing ball, and this is the second ball. Anna Kate goes into it with her body for Auburn, and it looks like she may get Jo Jagoda with an elbow to her head. One has got to be careful. Do I think that was intentional? No, but if you are sitting on a yellow, you have to play with more caution than that, especially in those 50-50 balls. You can see the anger from Burley being like, okay, how many times does that player get a chance to hit my players?
Jo Jagoda is a huge component to everything that Florida wants to do in the midfield. She's also got 7 goals here on the season, scored every single one of those in SEC play, and as you mentioned, Kate, just physical.
That was on the borderline of intentional, non-intentional. You really can't tell if she stuck her elbow out first or if she was just protecting her body and going up, using her elbows to gain her momentum, to get some air, because she is a shorter player. But I have to think of Anna Kate is in one more of those altercations, and it's that 50-50 ball.
They're not going to give her the benefit of the doubt.
It's time for that benefit of doubt to be gone.
So still tending to Jo Jagoda, the senior out of Tampa, Florida. She's an SEC all-first team selection, and tied with Timrack and leading the team heading into this game with 7 goals. Timrack now with 8. And the Women's College Cup will be right here on ESPNU, November 30th through December 2nd. The second will be the championship game, as we mentioned, on ESPN, the family of networks, the title game on ESPNU.
Now, if I had to pick who is my favorite, I would have to see Stanford. I got to see them play, and their off-the-ball movement in the beginning of the season was incredible for a team that was just coming together, had 2 players that were at the World Cup Championship in under 20. They are the reigning NCAA champions right now. That's so far my team favorite, but you never know. It's who gets hot at the right moment, who doesn't have injuries. And you know what? I think you're looking at Florida. Possibly. This is a huge possibility. If Jagoda goes down, that might ruin their chances a bit, but Florida right now, their on and off the ball movement is impressive. If you look at them passing, it's in triangles, and they're never in the same spot. They pass and move, and that means it's going to be an exciting game and definitely an exciting tournament for the NCAA.
The Florida Gators, as you mentioned, a team that could possibly be a Final Four squad, and not just something that because of what you've seen here, but some other coaches have even said, hey, that's a Final Four team right there, just looking at the style that they play. Again, we mentioned Becky Burley said she's watched some of these conference tournaments and just doesn't see anybody that plays the style that they do, and she feels like that could give them the edge and maybe throw something at some of these top teams in the country that they haven't seen before, catch them off guard. So while we are tending still to Jo Jagoda for the Florida Gators, we will take a break, and we will be right back.
So anyway, I've been to a lot of places. You know, I've helped a lot of people save a lot of money. But today, things have been a little strange. Me? What a strange place.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Lee knows guys don't wear jeans to get noticed. But when they do get noticed, they don't mind all that much. Guys don't settle for less than the stronger, softer comfort of the new Lee. Lee gets guys. That's why guys get Lee.
So look at guys. You're thinking bigger.
Yeah, this is a lot to remember. Do you see there's 32 bullet points?
You don't need notes. Try listening to some music, man.
Oh, that's the jam right there.
Yeah. You the man.
Oh, I'm the man. I'm the man.
You're the man for the job.
Told you.
Thank you.
Now let's see if you're the man on the course.
With Select and Go from Avis, it's easy to get the right space to get pumped up and wind down. Avis, it's your space.
Hi, Phil Swift here for Flex Seal, the easy way to coat, seal, and stop leaks fast. We listened to your suggestions, so we came out with a new color. Flex Seal Bright. Flex Seal Bright coats and seals while remaining completely flexible. It's actually liquid rubber in a can. Perfect for sealing cracks and quickly repairing decorative items. This light coating holds back water. A lot of water. It's like the Hoover Dam in a can. Don't call a repairman to fix leaks around your home. You can get Flex Seal Bright for just $19.99. But hold everything. We're going to include another can of Flex Seal Bright. Plus, we'll include this Aero Grip Sprayer, absolutely free. You get 2 large cans of Flex Seal Bright and the Aero Grip Sprayer, all for just $19.99.
To order Flex Seal Bright, call 1-800-381-3045. That's 1-800-381-3045, or go to flexsealbright.com.
The Florida Gators on top of Auburn 2-0 in this SEC championship game. Stoppage of play. At an injury, Joe Dragotta for the Florida Gators went down hard.
Well, it's a second ball, and you see Anna Kate go up with it with her elbow first, which hits Joe Dragotta straight in the head. And you don't know exactly where, and we don't want to guess, because that'd be irresponsible, but it is a contact and a blow to her head. They're tending to it. Look at that. The elbow goes out. I hope to goodness that that is not intentional, because if that is, she needs to get on the bus and off this field right away, because she is going to hurt people. But
talking about Kate, she had a yellow card in the first half of play. Dragotta herself actually had a yellow card here just before that play happened. It's a very physical game, but in this situation, it's particular play. We mentioned 2 yellow cards in this one for either team. No card given on that particular play. And we get things back started again, 37-24 on the clock here in the second half. The Florida Gators on top 2-0. What does a stoppage like that do for both of these teams, Kate?
Well, it takes away the momentum either team had going into it, but it also is imperative for both these teams now to reset and say to themselves, it's a 37-minute game. We need to go back to our game plan, what made us successful. If you're kind of low, you need to get your excitement back up, and if you're Auburn, you need to do something different than what you've done, because you have to get back in this game.
It will be interesting to see how the connection, the passing, again, we mentioned Joe Dragotta and Holly King, complete 80 to 90% of their passes, and that's when Florida is at their best. We're doing that well in the first half of this one. It'll be interesting to see the dynamic with her out of the game.
Well, Florida has a very, very deep bench, and that's a testament to their recruiting. And it's number 89, Triglia, that's coming back in. She's left-footed, she has lots of vision, and she has a knack for keeping possession.
And Auburn now with an opportunity. That is Coleman and Burke. Ball just got ahead of Coleman, and Burke makes the grab.
Look at the breakaway speed of Coleman. Number 11 does a little unbending run to buy herself the angle, and her touch is almost like a pass. It gets away from her. Burke does a good job of coming off her line and then seeing that she can get the ball, jumps out and smothers it.
There's that speed we talked about with Tatiana Coleman. just so strong technically. It's a player that has really matured this past season, according to Coach Hoppe. And even when she plays defensively, she's just somebody you don't even want to go up against.
Well, she doesn't turn off defensively when she's
Not at all.
attacking nature, likes to go forward. And sometimes when the ball goes past you, you're that type of personality, you just don't care because you don't want to defend. You want to put yourself in a better attacking position for the next time you might have the opportunity to go. She doesn't forget about her defensive responsibilities.
BCS Countdown is on ESPN and ESPNU tonight. A day after the dust has settled, our analysts break down the key victories, defeats, and reveal the latest BCS standings, who will rise and who will fall. Plus, we look ahead at the key matchups. BCS Countdown presented by Discover Card tonight at 8:30 on ESPN, then at 9 on ESPNU. Auburn has been playing from behind since the 27th minute of this one. And Coach Hoppe talked about some of the adjustments. Are we seeing that right now, Kate, with the Auburn Tigers?
Absolutely. They said they're playing a 4-3-3, but really they started in a 4-5-1, and now they've adjusted to more of a pure 4-3-3, trying to put more of their front runners on Florida's back line to have a closer presence towards goal. And you're seeing more distribution and longer passes, trying to utilize the speed of Coleman and Allen up top.
Coach Hoppe said that in this one, even though they played the 4-3-3, that they would look more like a 4-5-1 because the outside acts for Florida are just too good. She said we just can't let them get forward, and that Coleman and Kaufman, we have to play some of that defense to get in there and prevent that. She said it's really defend to win. And that's what they've done to this point to get to this tournament championship game.
Well, that's the difference. Texas A&M couldn't break that down. They couldn't convert their numerous chances, and Florida did. So the game plan worked against one team, but there's individual difference, there's team differences. This Florida team has faced it all this season and have matured and figured out how to keep their composure and slowly break down all the puzzles that teams throw at them.
Well, they get into the offense and into the attack. Coach Hoppe said, they want to be a possession-style team like Florida. But what we've seen so far is they just don't quite, two different styles of possession at this point. They don't look like Florida when they've got the ball offensively. She said that's something that they've worked on and tried to be better at this season. Got better at it in October. And the ball just hit the post, bounced off, preventing the goal. Howard fell to the ground, and the ball hit the post, and that saved the goal.
Well, Timrak gets aided by a deflection, and Howard is completely, but the senior captain, Mary Nicholson, comes off the line and doesn't give up. Reminds me of a typical Rachel Bueller save from the U.S. Women's National Team or Amy Lapel, that never quit on any ball, and they anticipate, they expect that maybe they might be needed and called upon, so they get themselves in the best position if that opportunity arose.
Huge save by the team captain for the Auburn Tigers. So when you look at 3-0 at that point, very difficult to come back from.
Well, we get to see a look at it, and that is a tough call. The ball, to me, looks completely over the line, and she is able to use the bounce and get it back on. But the sidelines linesmen, they don't have that opportunity and that vision. That is too tough of a ball to call. But to me, that's a goal.
So Auburn now, Tatiana Coleman, defended well by Florida, still trying to win the ball. And this is Tori Ball. She was trying to beat the defenders there, didn't quite get the look she wanted.
Well, she gets a deflection, now it's a corner kick. So you gotta think number 11, Tatiana Coleman, has gotta be a target. Number 7, the Mexican international, Sierra. Be a look as long as number 21, Nicholson, the team captain.
chance. That's Coleman. Just wide.
Well, Coleman is known for her breakaway pace, but she really has worked on her skill this sophomore season. Uses the momentum of the defender against her, cuts it against it, puts it on her left foot. Unfortunately, kind of slices it so the ball veers wide of the goal. But what a momentum shift. That goal that was not called a goal, in my opinion, it was a goal, to now a corner kick, and Auburn is pressing and in Florida's end.
This throw-in will give the Florida Gators a chance to kind of reset. Try to get back into that possession style of play that they're so good at. We've got a throw-in here for the Tigers. They're making those passes there.
Well, this is a young team, and they're trying to find their identity. They want to be a possession-oriented team. You can see bits and pieces of their potential and something they can grow into more as these players get a bit older.
Ball being chased down by Reitmer, just couldn't get to it. Adriana Leone sends it out wide to Annie Spees, and Timrack up the middle. Pretty move by Timrack. Triglia with a shot.
Well, the ball comes out to Triglia from Timrack, and she's a left-footed player, has no fear taking a look at it, gets a good strike on it, and Howard does a good job cleaning it up, getting over to her corner a little bit. Wasn't that dangerous of a shot, but she didn't give up a rebound. She cannot give up any more goals in this game if Auburn has any chance of getting back in, especially because they're committing so many more numbers. They're going to be more vulnerable in the back. She has to play even bigger than she has today. Thus far.
Coffin tripped up there.
Now, if I'm Florida, what I've seen that they've gotten away from is their 1- and 2-touch movement and passing and giving and getting in a different space. That quick, fluid style they like to play. It seems like it's a bit lost that they lost one of their seniors, Dragotta, and they just need to get that back. That's something they need to do, because they're going to see that the further they get on in the postseason. Teams sitting back and then putting all their numbers forward when they go down. They have to learn how to play through that consistently for 90 minutes. To be the dominant team they have the potential to be.
There's definitely precision in what they're doing. They don't just kick the ball just to kick the ball. There's definitely a method to the madness. And as we mentioned, Dragotta is a huge key to that. And out of this game. Anna Kate fighting.
That's a bit of retribution for you.
I noticed that.
King.
It was Holly King. And now look at this. Salon. Annie Spees with a look. The shot. And offsides.
Going back to the retribution, this is Holly King, Dragotta's partnership. They have a duo together, being the two holding center mids in Florida's system. When someone takes out your teammate or when someone's playing a bit rough, it's not uncommon to see another player kind of go after you. You see that in hockey all the time. It's kind of a code. And I wouldn't say it's a code in women's soccer, but it's not uncommon to see Anna Kate's going to get some special attention, I think, the rest of this game.
You didn't see it in the replay, but there is definitely a fine finality with the arm down by King on that takedown. And the shot just wide.
Well, Timrak's not done yet. She's so balanced at all the time. She takes a shot on goal. It's a difficult angle, and unfortunately she doesn't have someone on the far post sealing the goal, making it bigger and able to get that and knock it in for a rebound. Like you see a Florida alum skater do, Abby Wambach, all the time for the U.S. Women's National Team. But Timrak, she's so strong on the ball. She's so strong running at people. She has incredible core strength. A lot of times you see that with dancers and figure skaters and those people that did different disciplines growing up. They just bring a different dimension to a game than someone who's just played soccer all the time. They move differently. That's part of the reason why she's so unpredictable on the ball.
Under 25 here in the second half of play. Auburn just battling. Trying to get back into this one. Coleman using that speed here. Not going to get there in time. Mackenzie Barney just got back into the game. Good defending by the Florida Gators there on that series. Just inside the box. And now a whistle. And that, I believe, is on Anna Kate.
The referee is so afraid to pull her card out, but that tackle, let's see if it was that. Yeah, she should be out of here. She's going for the ball, but she's also making a little added intention to get into this player. Look at that. There is no reason for that. She's playing too aggressive. That is maladaptive aggression and behavior, and at this point, the referee is letting her get away with it. She needs to have more courage, because if she gets another yellow card, she's out of this game, and Auburn's down to 10 men.
She got the yellow card in the first half of play, as you saw arguing with the ref there, saying, hey, I was trying to just make the play on the ball.
But she hasn't learned. She's been called for that foul a couple of times. She's hitting the player too much. You have to adapt and learn what the referee's going to call and not call. The fact that she has it.
Throw in here for the Gators. Reset opportunity. Ball sit in just inside the box. And the shot high and over the goal by Holly King. Probably would have liked to have seen a little more patience there.
Just a bit more composure. Holly King is known for being very good on the ball. She's a senior leader. She has to make sure that she keeps the composure for this team. They're going to get a bit frustrated, especially with the aggressive play of some of the Auburn players. So she has to keep that calm as well.
Rogers. Another shot goes wide for the Gators.
Well, Florida likes to set a lot of play and demands that from their outside backs. They put a lot of emphasis on them being the playmakers. That's why you see so many different players at that position, because that responsibility takes a huge physical toll. And Maggie Rogers, the junior, is up to the task, barreling down that right-hand flank.
Timrak. Sends it here near side to Taylor Travis. Timrack suddenly the numbers closing in, and another goal for the Florida Gators. Give it to Havana Solon. Her 7th goal of the season for the sophomore from Gainesville, Florida.
Look at the partnership between Timrack and Solon. She runs, does an overlapping run from behind, runs onto it because the ball is perfectly paced by Timrack. She has time to get her hips around it, but still the ball isn't too far away from the goal where Solon will have no angle on it. Solon has been creating plays for everybody all day with her impressive dribbling skills, barreling down the center of Auburn's team. And here she is rewarded on the other side with a great setup play by Timrack.
She was due for one of those all day long. Don't forget the Women's College Cup, which is what we're all playing for. The Florida Gators hoping to get to that title game will be on ESPNU. And so far, when you talk in terms, moving ahead and into the postseason, Florida today showing why they could be a strong contender and a team to beat.
Assuming the score stands. Florida already knows they're in the NCAA tournament, but now they'll definitely secure 2nd and 3rd round home field advantage. I would start to rest some players, but I'd leave Triglia, number 89, into it because Dragota's injury looked pretty intense and severe where she might miss some time, as me totally speculating. But get those players in that you know are going to be important, maybe as role players, maybe as substitutes, and rest your stars a little bit that have put in some good minutes today, 70 minutes today, and give them some fresh legs going into the next round.
Solon again. When you're a team, talking about the Auburn Tigers, down not 1, not 2, but 3 goals in this situation. We'll get to that thought in a moment. First, we want to talk about the Hurricane Sandy relief. Again, the Red Cross. Millions of people on the East Coast have been affected by Hurricane Sandy, and the Red Cross is currently helping to feed, clothe, and shelter people in 9 states. You can help with the relief efforts by calling 1-800-RED-CROSS or text Red Cross to 90999 to donate $10.
Well, if I'm Auburn, going back to your point, the likelihood is you're going to get in the tournament because you had a successful SEC campaign and you're in the championship and you lose to a very good team that's highly ranked. What I would do is I would sit number 1. I'd put Anna Kate off the field, prevent her from getting into another altercation where she might get a red and then not be able to play for you. That's someone that's vital for your team. And then just start to rebuild. Try to fix these little pieces and pick 1 or 2 things they can work on for the next 17 minutes against one of the best teams in the country.
Karen Hoppe's motto this season has been just simply be better than you were yesterday.
It's a
and
great
she'll
motto
have some,
of life.
she will have some things to pick apart and look at, to improve upon moving ahead.
On your back, Karina.
And on that sideline there for the Auburn Tigers is Katie Frierson, star midfielder for the team last season, volunteer coach this year. One of the top players in Auburn history. The team we saw in that flashback at the half that was instrumental in helping the Auburn Tigers beat the Florida Gators in this very game a season ago.
And those are the players that played in the WPSL this past summer, and will be trying to look to get into the new Pro League that's launching next year.
To see Graham Hayes' latest power rankings, log on to ESPNW.com, connecting female fans to the sports and athletes they love and follow. Westphal just sent it back to her keeper. Taylor Burke, the keeper for the Florida Gators, has done a fine job here this afternoon. Just a sophomore. They'll have a few more years with her. Doesn't play like a sophomore, though. Plays well beyond her years. When you look at this Florida team, it's just a matter of everybody has a role. Everybody takes that role, plays within that role in each game. And nobody tries to do too much, because when you do that, those are the games that Florida has lost this season, when players have played outside of those roles.
Well, they're well coached. They play simple, they play pass and move, and it sounds and looks easy, but it's incredibly difficult to do. And you can only do that if you have technical players, players that are tactically aware, so we call that soccer IQ. And Becky Burley has a whole entire team that can do that, and also they embrace it. They know it's a team effort. 8 different players have 3 or more goals. They have all the makings of a championship level team.
On their losses on the season, lost to Miami, Florida State. Becky Burley said, we felt like an ACC team there in the early going. Came out, lost to Kentucky in SEC play, and then a loss to Alabama. And I asked Becky Burley to really, explain that one for me. And she said it was just simply, we weren't doing the things we were supposed to do. And that one came up, snuck up on them. She said the key is really composure and the ability to be unselfish, and they just didn't have that in those particular games. And Auburn Leon sends it ahead. And Havana Salon with an opportunity here. Holds it up, tried to get it to Barney. The only player forward there for the Tigers is Coleman.
Well, Florida is incensed that that wasn't a call, but honestly, the referee was 30 yards behind the play, did not have a good view to see it. But what's impressive is Amy Leon. She can use every surface of her foot, number 91, to do what she wants. She's done flick-on, she does back heels. Here, doesn't matter. Outside, inside, heel, top of the foot, she can do it all. Just crafty and fun to watch.
She must hear you. Seeing that play right there to take down. Free kick here for the Gators. They called that one. Mentioned her transferred in from Notre Dame, and the system has been tough for her to learn, and obviously has caught on enough to be a key part of this Florida Gator team. Howard tried to make the grab, ball still in play. And finally, knocked out of the box by the Auburn Tigers. Dangerous situation, though, there for Howard.
Well, she made something out of nothing, a little flick on. She comes out strong, but she just loses sight of it for that quick second, and that means her hands don't grasp around it. And the ball is bouncing around after that. You're gonna come out big, come out strong. Just focus on that and only that.
Taylor Travis sends it across the middle, nobody home. And Havana Salon got a touch on it.
Like I said, Leon will do inside her foot, outside of her foot, but then she just tried to bicycle inside the box.
So this is how we got here. The Florida Gators with the 2 goals there in the first half.
Again, look at the quick little movements here and there, those passes on top of the box. And then here's the injury that changed part of this game. Anna Kate sitting on a yellow card for Auburn, goes in with her elbow, referee did not deem it intentional. And now this half, Salon setting up her teammates all game long, gets rewarded with a chance of her own. She takes advantage of it and puts it away.
And these goals indicative of the nice distribution for the Florida Gators. An opportunity here for another goal. Adriana Leone got tripped up there.
Well,
boy, she had a good look.
Some quick passing and a good touch centrally that'll buy her more of the goal to shoot on and improves her angle. Gets away from a little bit, and a good defensive play by number 4 Faulkner from Auburn. Getting in there, getting an arm on it, being a bit physical, but not on that threshold of possibly dirty.
That was Alexa Allen. Got a touch on the ball. Wasn't quite turned completely to make the shot count. There's a look at Anna Kate. Talk about physical play in this one. Does it get more physical than what we've seen from Anna Kate here today? Starting to see some new faces in the game for the Florida Gators, as you mentioned, to help out the depth for where they hope to go in the postseason. Men's college soccer continues next Sunday on ESPNU with the ACC Championship game, where last year's ACC champion went on to win the College Cup. The ACC Championship next Sunday at noon on ESPNU. ACC men have won 4 of the last 5 College Cups. And speaking of the ACC, again, the game that was on before this match, ACC women's conference title won by Virginia. Last time they won it, 2004. Under 10 minutes here in Orange Beach, Alabama in the SEC championship game. The Auburn Tigers have been playing catch-up. Down 3-0 here to the Florida Gators.
The question then becomes Auburn's body of work. Have they done enough now to get a berth into the NCAA tournament? Sometimes if you leave it up to the tournament organizers, it's just too subjective, but I think they have done enough. They've had a good showing. They're getting some chances against Florida, who's the best team in the conference. Did well in the semifinals to win that. I think you'll see Auburn in the NCAA tournament.
Got a foul there by Tatiana Coleman. And as far as the tournament is concerned, the SEC took 8 teams, which was a record last season for them. And when you look at the standings and sort of the teams that are ranked in the RPI, you see 6 so far that look like legitimate candidates for the field. And Auburn is one of those 6. See here, Florida, Tennessee, Texas A&M, Kentucky, Missouri, the 2 newcomers who are in the semifinals here in Tennessee and Missouri. Both teams ranked and will extend their season into the tournament.
Ooh, that was a good ball. That's a quarter of indecision to steal a Florida Gator term. Putting it in that in-between space between the goalie and the back line and the front runner. Unfortunately, Coffed gets there a bit too early for Auburn and is deemed offsides and wasn't able to connect anyway, but that is a very interesting and dangerous ball if you're able to hit that. I like that look a lot.
Well, Tori Ball sent it forward. As you said, Coffed turned on the jets there to try to make the play.
Well, you're playing into space. You can't defend space that well, especially in between in that area. That's what Florida does so well. They always play into space, or they play it when the player is moving. And that's why it's so difficult to defend them.
Free kick upcoming here for the Gators. Faulkner with that tackle. This is Kristen Westfall for the Gators. Freshman, has played a lot of minutes for a freshman. There she is, Westfall.
Wow, talk about unselfish.
Absolutely.
This center back with the maturity to realize I might not have the best shot or not, who cares? She's still looking for a teammate, because that's the Florida concept. Takes a good touch to beat pressure. She's not even looking to shot. She's trying to bend the ball behind the Auburn back line, picks her head up, picks her teammate out. Unfortunately, just played a little bit too far past Mackenzie Barney.
Mackenzie Barney just a couple of steps too late there.
That's just high-level soccer. That's just that next level that Florida is at.
Five minutes remaining here in this SEC championship game. Lauren Silver trying to track it down. So when you look at the Florida Gators, they've done everything that any team that wants to get into the tournament should do. They played the tough schedule, as we mentioned, had Florida State there. That's actually a game that Becky Burley said she wanted to get back. Said there were many opportunities that they just didn't convert on in that one. Only lost 1-0. As we mentioned, she said she felt like a part of the ACC. Also played North Carolina, Miami. Obviously the ACC, one of the top conferences in the country. And then you go through the grind of SEC play, adding 2 more opponents to that in Texas A&M and Missouri.
Well, she scheduled a difficult game or group of games. And that's a good thing to do, because it challenges you. You get to see what your strengths and weaknesses are early on. And she did an even better job. And that's the most important thing that all the best coaches do. She keeps the confidence up when things aren't going right. She picks out the weaknesses, says, okay, we need to move on this. Let's work on this. Let's move on. Something to focus on. And then she takes a good part to build confidence on. And managing that has been impressive.
That was Haley Gherkin down for the Auburn Tigers. Running off to the sidelines. Freshman from Birmingham, Alabama. And it's funny, Karen Hoppe said, you know, we've got a lot of seniors on this team, but it still feels like a young team. And again, that's just going to the experience level. And it's why it took a little bit of time for this team to really start gelling and coming together. As we mentioned, not quite there in September, then mid-October, they get into the meat of the SEC, and the light bulb really just clicked.
A lot of these young players are gaining useful experience. This team will be better next year with the players from what they're learning from games like this.
Caroline Triglia here. And Triglia, nice move. And Amy Howard, perhaps with a better move, straight into her hands, and this time didn't punch it out. She held on to it.
Well, Triglia is all left-footed. She can set herself up. She does a little touch wide to give herself a little bit of an angle away from the defender so she can buy that time to get her shot off. But if I'm Auburn, that's the third shot Triglia has taken on me. I would now push her to her right foot. I would get on the other side of her and go to her weaker foot. Those are little nuances you need to adapt to quickly to be a top-level team.
Bianca Sierra.
Excellent ball. The Mexican international lays a perfect ball in that space where you don't know whether to come out and not come out. We call it no man's land. We get to see it go in, a great serving ball. Goalkeeper decides to stay on her line, and Tatiana Coleman reads it correctly. She's left unmarked. Unfortunately, does not get the contact on it that she wants. Not enough of the ball, and it skims off her foot wide.
Just over 2 minutes remaining here. Auburn really just trying to find something positive to take out of this one.
Something positive, they got better as the game went on. They started to dictate the game a little bit more to their own terms. Never 50-50. They never really dominated this game. But they have to be happy that they tried to fix certain things. There were times that Florida just ran through them too much in the midfield, down the center on the dribble. That didn't happen as much in the second half. Those are building blocks to build on, because like you said, they're a really young team, and most likely get into the tournament. And they've done enough to get into the tournament, in my opinion.
Starting to see an entire roster, different roster on the field here for the Florida Gators. Their starters, most of them out of this one. Timrak trying to get, like we said, some of these youngsters some experience here in a game that matters. The BCS Countdown is on ESPN and ESPNU tonight. A day after the dust has settled, our analysts break down the key victories, defeats, and reveal the latest BCS standings. Who will rise, who will fall? Plus, we look ahead at the key matchups ahead. BCS Countdown presented by Discover Card tonight at 8:30, and then at 9 on ESPNU. At 8:30 will be on ESPN. Under 30 seconds remaining here. A game that Coach Becky Burley wanted back, said Auburn deserved it last year when they won the SEC championship game, just simply played better. And today, the Florida Gators simply better than the Auburn Tigers.
Absolutely, and the star of the show, Erica Timrak, number 17, proves why she is a game changer. Incredible player, and Florida is going to have home field advantage the second and third rounds of the NCAA tournament.
So the SEC tournament champions, the Florida Gators. It is the 10th SEC tournament title for Becky Burley and company. And Kate's final thoughts on this one.
Well, you thought it might have been Florida's game if you just looked at the roster and the body of work they've done all season, and Florida lived up to the billing. But give Auburn credit. They came back in the second half, changed their game plan a little bit. They just didn't have enough weapons. They just didn't have enough possession, and Florida was just too much to handle.
Florida dominated this one really from start to finish, with goals from Adriana Leon, Erica Timrak in the first half, and then Havana Salon in the second half. And they will walk away with the SEC championship here on the 20th anniversary of the SEC tournament. Our final score from Orange Beach, Alabama, 3-0 the Florida Gators over the Auburn Tigers. Coming up next on ESPNU, it's a college basketball special, freshman orientation. For Kate Markgraf and the rest of our ESPNU crew, I'm Melissa Lee saying so long from Orange Beach, Alabama.